The bright studio lights of the Jennifer Hudson Show shone down on the stage, where Jennifer Hudson herself sat in her elegant chair, smiling at the audience as they applauded. It was supposed to be a smooth and heartwarming episode, a tribute to legendary actors who had paved the way for generations in Hollywood. Among the guests was none other than Marla Gibbs, the 92-year-old trailblazer best known for her iconic roles in The Jeffersons and 227. Jennifer had admired Marla for years. She grew up watching reruns of The Jeffersons with her grandmother, who often said, "That woman speaks the truth without fear." Booking Marla was meant to be an honor, a way to celebrate her legacy. What no one expected was that the taping would turn into one of the most talked about television moments of the year. As the cameras rolled, Jennifer introduced her guest with enthusiasm. "Please give it up for a living legend, Miss Marla Gibbs." The crowd erupted in applause. Marla walked slowly but gracefully onto the stage, dressed in a vibrant turquoise suit that shimmered under the lights. She carried herself with the confidence of a woman who had seen and survived the ups and downs of Hollywood. Jennifer stood to hug her. "It is such an honor to have you here today, Miss Gibbs," she said warmly. "Thank you, Jennifer," Marla replied, her voice steady but sharp. "It's nice to still be remembered while I'm alive." The audience laughed lightly, unsure whether it was a joke or a jab. Jennifer chuckled politely and moved on, not wanting to linger on the comment. They began talking about Marla's early career, her struggles as a single mother before making it in Hollywood, and her groundbreaking role as Florence Johnston, the witty maid who always put George Jefferson in his place. Jennifer leaned forward, hanging on to every word. But as the segment continued, a tension began to build. Jennifer asked a question that would spark the fire. "Miss Gibbs, looking back, what advice would you give young actors in Hollywood today who want to follow in your footsteps?" Marla tilted her head, her expression tightening. "First of all, Jennifer, they can't follow in my footsteps. My path was mine. They need to make their own. But if you're asking me what I'd tell them, it's this: stop looking for shortcuts. These days, everybody wants fame overnight, without doing the work. And too many of you young stars, no disrespect, get handed platforms without paying the dues." The audience shifted uncomfortably. Jennifer kept her smile, but her eyes flickered. "I hear you," she said carefully. "But don't you think times have changed? Today's generation has new opportunities, new ways to showcase their talent." Marla leaned closer. "Opportunities, yes. But talent? That's the question. Do you have it, or do you just have followers? I've seen your show, Jennifer. You've got a gift, no doubt. But sometimes I wonder if these talk shows are about talent or just about keeping your name out there." The studio went silent. Jennifer's smile faltered. She had invited Marla to celebrate her, not challenge her credibility on her own stage. "I respect your honesty," Jennifer said, her voice a little tighter. "But this show isn't about me. It's about giving legends like you the flowers you deserve." Marla's lips curved into a thin smile. "Well, flowers are nice, but I prefer respect. In real conversations, not surface-level applause." The audience gasped softly. Someone in the front row even muttered, "Ooh." Jennifer tried to steer the interview back on track. "Of course. That's exactly why we're here, to honor your truth and your journey." But Marla wasn't finished. "If you really want to honor me, Jennifer, don't just bring me here as a trophy. Ask the real questions. Ask why Hollywood still underpays older black women. Ask why networks cancel shows led by us but keep shows led by mediocrity. That's the conversation worth having." Jennifer shifted in her chair, caught between admiration for Marla's boldness and irritation that the episode was spiraling out of control. The producers behind the cameras began exchanging nervous glances. "I absolutely agree that we need to have those conversations," Jennifer said. "But," Marla interrupted, her voice firm. "No, but, you can't say you agree and then soften it up. That's the problem with television today. Too many soft edges, not enough truth." The tension was thick. The audience, torn between cheering and squirming, began whispering. Jennifer's smile disappeared completely now. Her voice, when she spoke, carried a sharper edge. "Miss Gibbs, with all due respect, this is my show. And while I welcome truth, I also believe in creating an environment where people feel uplifted, not torn down." Marla folded her arms. "Sometimes being uplifted starts with being uncomfortable. Jennifer stared at her guest, unsure whether to continue or cut to a commercial. She glanced at the producer, who signaled for a wrap-up. "Ladies and gentlemen," Jennifer said, forcing cheer back into her tone, "please give it up for the incredible Marla Gibbs." The applause was hesitant. Marla stood, but instead of smiling and waving, she leaned toward Jennifer one last time and said into the mic, "Don't invite me here for flowers if you're not ready for the thorns." The crowd gasped again. Jennifer froze. The producers immediately cut to commercial. Backstage chaos erupted. Marla refused to go quietly. Jennifer, clearly shaken, confronted her in the green room. What happened next would soon leak to the press, and ignite a storm that neither woman had anticipated. The cameras had cut, but the tension didn't fade. If anything, it grew heavier as Jennifer Hudson marched off stage with a forced smile plastered across her face. The studio audience buzzed with murmurs, half excited, half uncomfortable about what they had just witnessed. Some people were already pulling out their phones, eager to tweet about the live taping. Backstage, Marla Gibbs sat calmly in her chair, sipping water as if nothing had happened. Jennifer entered the green room a few minutes later, flanked by two producers who were whispering frantically into their headsets. "Miss Gibbs," Jennifer said tightly, "I respect you, but what happened out there was uncalled for. You turned a celebration into..." Marla cut her off, her tone sharper now that the cameras weren't rolling. "Into honesty. You asked me for advice, I gave it. You didn't want the truth, you wanted flattery. That's not who I am." One of the producers stepped in quickly. "Ladies, maybe we should." Jennifer held up her hand, silencing him. Her voice dropped, carrying the weight of her frustration. "This is my show, Miss Gibbs. And when you undermine me in front of my own audience, that's not just honesty, that's disrespect." Marla leaned back in her chair, her eyes narrowing. "You think respect means agreeing with you? No, Jennifer. Respect means I tell you the truth, even if you don't like it. And if you can't handle that, then maybe you shouldn't be running a show." The words landed like a slap. Jennifer's jaw tightened. For years, she had built her reputation on grace, charm, and resilience. But Marla's bluntness struck at a hidden insecurity, whether she truly belonged in the talk show world or was just another celebrity trying to stretch her fame. "I won't be spoken to like this backstage," Jennifer said firmly. She turned to the producers. "Escort Miss Gibbs out. The interview will not air." The room fell silent. Everyone froze, stunned that Jennifer Hudson had just ordered a legend off her set. Marla stood slowly, adjusting her suit jacket with deliberate composure. "So that's how it is," she said, her voice calm but cutting. "You invite me here, then throw me out because I didn't play nice. You're proving my point, Jennifer. Television today is more about image than substance." Two production assistants moved forward nervously, unsure if they were really supposed to escort a 92-year-old icon. Marla held up her hand, stopping them. "Don't touch me. I can walk myself out." She turned toward the exit, but not before delivering one final line, her voice carrying down the hallway. "History will remember who told the truth, and who silenced it." The fallout. By the next morning, the story had already exploded online. Multiple audience members had posted clips of the exchange before producers could confiscate them. Headlines across social media read, "Marla Gibbs shuts down Jennifer Hudson on her own show. Legend vs. Rising Star, who is out of line. Jennifer Hudson cuts interview after Marla Gibbs refuses to back down." Fans were divided. Some praised Marla for speaking raw truth, calling her a fearless voice in an industry that still avoided tough conversations. Others sided with Jennifer, arguing that Gibbs had been unnecessarily harsh and disrespectful on a show designed to uplift. Jennifer's team scrambled to control the narrative, releasing a polished statement. Greater than, Jennifer Hudson has the deepest respect for Marla Gibbs and her legendary career. Unfortunately, due to creative differences, the segment will not air. We continue to honor Miss Gibbs and her contributions to entertainment. But Marla wasn't silent. The very next evening, she appeared in a surprise interview on a smaller talk show. When asked about what happened, she didn't hold back. "I wasn't there to tear Jennifer down," she said. "I was there to tell the truth. And the truth is, this industry still has a long way to go. If we can't speak openly on national television, then what's the point of being invited at all?" That clip went viral, and suddenly the power dynamics shifted. Jennifer found herself facing a wave of criticism, accused of silencing an elder who had earned the right to speak her mind. A private reflection. Late one night, Jennifer sat alone in her dressing room, scrolling through comments. Some were supportive. "You did the right thing, Jen. No one deserves to be disrespected on their own show." But others stung. "If you can't handle real conversations, maybe Marla was right about you." She stared at her reflection in the mirror. For years, she had fought to build her career beyond American Idol, beyond the labels of singer or contestant. Hosting her own talk show was supposed to be proof that she had made it. Yet, one fiery exchange had shaken her confidence. Was Marla right? Was she running a show about fluff instead of substance? Jennifer sighed, unsure of the answer. The legacy of the clash. Over the following weeks, the incident became more than just celebrity gossip. Columnists wrote essays about the silencing of elders in Hollywood. Talk radio debated whether Jennifer had overreacted. Younger audiences defended Jennifer, while older viewers applauded Marla for refusing to be tokenized. One thing was certain: the clash between Marla Gibbs and Jennifer Hudson would be remembered as a cultural moment, one that revealed not just a generational divide, but a deeper struggle over what television should stand for: comfort or confrontation, applause or accountability. And though Jennifer tried to move past it with new guests and uplifting episodes, every time she walked onto that stage, she could still hear Marla's parting words echoing in her mind. "Don't invite me here for flowers if you're not ready for the thorns."